Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. As a teacher, I was always curious what happens in the classroom next to me. Now, being here at the University of Warwick gave me an opportunity to have a look at what happens in the classrooms around the world. And in today's episode, we have the president of our SSLC committee, Jenny. So, hello and welcome, Jenny. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm willing to share my education experience.
Thank you very much. So, could you tell us more about your country and your hometown?
Yeah, my hometown is China, and I live in a very complicated province, the Jiangsu province. So, at that province, many children need to educate a lot, and they need to pass a very complicated examination or something else.
Okay, so let's start with your primary schooling. So, when were you enrolled to your school?
I have the education experience in China for 9 or 12 years old, like that, because China have the compulsory education for 9 years from the primary school to middle school. It's in primary schools mostly the education experience is mostly for 6 years, and for middle school the education experience for 3 years. So most no, not most children. It's like all children have the compulsory education for 9 years at least. And for my primary experience, I think most children need to learn the at least 3 compulsory subjects. The subjects are Mandarin, Chinese, and mathematics. And English is depends on the area. Some areas, some children in the like Beijing or Shanghai, the international province, they need to maybe learn the English from the grade 3. But in some provinces, such as very focused on the education, some children will learn the English from the grade 1.
Okay.
But at present, actually, most of children learn English from the kindergarten or 3 years, just 3 years of children.
Okay.
Because China is very, focused on the education, and the students need to pass a very competitive examination. It's called Gaokao. I don't know, don't use that, but it's very competitive. It's like, I think it's 100 million students need to pass this one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's I don't know the exact number, but it's maybe at least 100 million or more than 100 million.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so many students need to pass this one to enter university. And come back to the primary school, the classroom size in the I think it's 40 to 50 children, and one class will have the master teacher and the other subject teacher. The master teacher need to manage the students for everything. And I think student school time is from the 9 no 9, it's from the 7:30 to 4 or 5 p.m. I think it's like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's just a primary school.
In primary school?
Yeah, it's just in primary school. If you listen to the higher school, you will be more surprised. Yeah, and but it's not their they were not finished studying after the school. They need to finish their homework or something else. And at present, most of the parents will enroll the actual school classes or tutorials for their children. So after the class, after school day, children also need to have the actual classes, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours about mathematics, Chinese or English. after school. So they are very busy, and another way is that Chinese students like because if you want to get a winner in a competitive examination, the another way is to pass a very I don't know, you know, it's like the get a very high artics or PE
No, I don't know
grades
that.
through this way. So so some children will be trained after school by the maybe the arts or something else like that. So
Yes.
they are very busy about this one. And we because of our starting the school the studies from the 7:30 to 5 or 4, so we have 8 classes one day, and the classes always include the Chinese, mathematics, English. It's 3 compulsory classes, and science, PE, and I think that's all. That's all for the one day, and music and arts. It's just Chinese schools children's subject, but for the grade 3 to grade 5 or grade 6 Chinese students, the classes maximum focus on the compulsory classes, and they have fewer arts, PE, and like the interesting classes. So I think they are more busy and more pressure on them. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember you speaking about kindergarten. So did you go to kindergarten as well?
Yeah, actually, I also have the kindergarten experience, and but I think my education experience is different from at present, because in my education experience, my kindergarten experience is like the we always play, and we just do some activities and learn some music, learn some basic Chinese pronunciation, learn some English pronunciation like that. But at present, children in Chinese, such as more and more parents enroll their children in some international school. They need to study a lot of Chinese words and English words, such as I think I taught the kindergarten children just last year, and they I think they are 5 or 6 years old. They have already know the fruits, the colors, the animals, very difficult animals. Also I don't know this word, just maybe 1 or 2, but they know and they can speak very fluently. I just very so surprised about that one, and they can, and their teachers are foreigners. They can talk with teachers in English very fluently. So surprised about that, and and my friend told me a very surprising news that her son, her cousin,
Nice.
yeah,
Nephew,
her,
nice.
yeah, her cousin studied the physical,
Physical education.
no physical. It's like the chemistry.
Physics.
Physics.
Yeah.
Physics at kindergarten.
Oh my God.
It's just basic education, but it's very difficult for the children.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm so surprised about
my
that.
God.
It's just because parents want to students become winner in the competitive examination. So students need to educate more when they are very young, because when the children at grade 6 and they want to go to a middle school, they need to pass the examination entrance like that, and this test is also very competitive. Students need to get marks, and parents school according to the marks to enroll their children. So it's very difficult.
Thank you very much for sharing all this. So, I remember you speaking about, two interesting points. One was about international schools.
Yeah.
So, are international schools some different type of school? And if yes, what are different other type of schools?
Because I am international school and my friends are just a common school or government published school. Because some public school is controlled by government and their books or some materials are managed by government. But international schools material is designed by their teacher or use some foreign materials like Cambridge or something else. And I think the difference is in international school, students have more time to play. It's just sorry. It's about they have fewer classes and they have lower pressure during the education. And I think in international school, students also need to from the 7:30 to 4, just in or 2. It's just later than the public school, and they have different courses, different educations, and also in the class, students will play more and communicate English more. It's like different, I think.
Okay, the second interesting point that was about foreigner teachers. So you spoke that they can speak English fluently because they have foreigner teachers.
Yeah.
At what grades do they have foreigner teachers, and how does that system work? So
Foreigner teachers and what?
so like do they have the foreigner teachers at kindergarten or at primary level? And how these primary teachers and local teachers coordinate with each other?
I know that because I think it depends on the. Do you have the children have the education or foreign education? It depends on the parents' economic power. If you have more money, parents will choose send their students enroll the foreign universities or schools or international schools from the kindergarten. If you just have the lower money, or they will send the children to public school because the public schools fees is very cheap. Yeah, and how they call it is like it's like the native speaker because most teachers can speak English very fluently, and their native language is English. So maybe non-native speakers, teachers will call them native speakers or just call them English name. But I know that there's a very problematic situation. Is like statement is like some foreigners don't have the very high level professional document like the certification. Don't like Chinese students, Chinese teachers need to get a postgraduate certification. They just maybe have the high school or undergraduate certification, but they also can get this job, and they have the school or some kindergarten are more willing to welcome the this kind of native speakers because they can speak English. Just this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I understand, there are some native teachers and there are some non-native teachers. So imagine like if there's a child who goes to this type of school, so other subjects would be taught by these non-native teachers and English will be taught by a native English speaker. Is that so?
No. Because most of their English class is native speakers called, but some kindergarten also will employ some non-native speaker to teach English because children when they are very young, they cannot listen to the English at the beginning of they learn the English. So the English teachers, it's like the non-native speakers, it's like to help them translate or help them understand the basic words at the beginning when they study the English. So it's And I think it depends on the student choice because if the students have the bilingual background or context, they can listen to the non-native speakers and native speakers and non-native speakers both.
Mhm.
So parents will choose the non-native speaker teachers more.
Mhm.
But if the children's just like they only have the Chinese contact and they can and their parents once they receive the better education, they will firstly receive the non-native teachers to help their children maybe get the meaning of this word and this word connect with together,
Mhm.
and then choose the native
Okay,
speakers.
okay.
It's just
Okay.
depends, but non-native speakers also have their benefits or because they can some non-native speakers also can teach well, and
Yes.
yeah, so I think it depends on parents' choice and the school choice.
Okay, so that was about teaching English. What
Yeah.
about other subjects? For example, mathematics or physics,
Ah.
chemistry. Are they taught in Mandarin or in
Ah.
English?
For other subjects, I think most teachers, most school, and it depends on schools. I think
Mhm.
for the public school or at a public school level, it's very simple, and most schools choose to use or employ non-native speaker teacher to teach them like mathematics, chemistries, or no chemistries like PE or something else.
Mhm.
But the PE teacher, because they just need to speak some very simple word to let them playing football or something else. So most teachers in schools are in international schools are native speakers. It depends on the international schools and the public schools. Yeah, in public schools, most teachers are non-native speakers.
Yeah.
And in international schools, most teachers are it's composed with non-native speakers and native speakers both. It depends on the different schools type and different schools. Yeah.
Okay. And for example, if we think of public schools and the mathematics is taught in Mandarin, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in international school, that is taught in English?
No, because I think it depends on the school
School,
choice. Because
okay.
I know that some schools teach students in English, but teach students mathematics in English, but some schools teach students mathematics in Chinese. But in international schools, if they want to go abroad in the future, their the text or something else is all English. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a depend.
Thank you very much for sharing this. So that was your primary experience. So as I get, you went to kindergarten.
Yeah.
Then you went to primary school for 6 years.
Yeah.
And after 6 years, as you told, there was an exam that you need to cross, qualify.
Yeah.
And after that, you go to middle school. Is that so?
Yeah.
And what are the subjects at middle school?
Yeah, and in middle school, I take my parents enroll me in a public middle school, and I experienced a very competitive time at that period. Because in when you at middle school, you need to face a lot of examinations. Maybe one day, one week, 1 month, and and like this one, and students need to face examination again and again and again to get the marks.
Okay.
And the class size is like the one class contains, I think is 30 to 40 students.
Okay.
Yeah, and or more. Some classes contains 50 to 60. It's also possible. And we study the Chinese, also Mandarin, mathematics, English, PE, arts, and
History, geography.
Yeah, it's seen as at the first year in the middle school, it's seen as 6th grade in the public school. And Mm, and when we enter the maybe the second grade or third grade in middle school, we began to study the physics, chemistry, and biology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when we began the second grade in middle school, we began to learn this. And the school time is from the 6:45. At the first grade in middle school, it's from the 6:50 to 8 a.m. in the morning to 8:30 p.m. in the at night. It's just a 1 day school time, and we need to experience three kind of school time. And at the secondary grade of the middle school, the school time is from 6:55 to 8:40, and the third grade is from 6:50 to 8:50 or 9. Yeah, it's very long time study, and the examination text is also frequent there, and most teachers in middle school, in public middle school, they teach this subject in Mandarin, yeah. Also Chinese, also English.
Okay. So as I get it, you have these long scholars and you went to public school and
Yeah.
English, mathematics, middle school,
Yeah.
mathematics. Did you also study history and geography at some time? History, geography.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as when we enter the middle school, we must need to study the history and what?
Geography.
Yeah, geography, of course, because we have the examination at grade 2. We need to pass this examination, get the scores firstly, and it will account into the high school entrance examination scores. So we need to learn that, and Chinese is very focused on the. I don't know I don't know how to say that. Like they want their children love their country, love their service for their country. So I know that in Mandarin, but I don't know speaking English. Sorry about that. So we will study the history about our past experience, like the something that 6 countries enter our country to get the treasure or some very wonderful things, and like that experience, and we need to receive this one, and we will also the examination also will contact this contact to let us receive this one, and also we also will when we enter the middle school, our English contact is from it's changed from the fruits, some very simple words, to the long word articles. Like one article is contains I think it contains 300 to 500 words, and the students need to recite this one. Yeah, recite every articles. In the classroom, the teachers will, arrange some, where some students they have the high grade level of English, and they have the high grade English scores, and they will that's them to manage the other students to recite the classes every day. Yeah, so this is why Chinese students need to receive class every time, because someone will, manage them and monitor them. Yeah, this is why. And the class, the contact in the textbook, maybe in English, it's contact a lot, such as Chinese landscapes, and I think also some English cultures, England cultures, like the Easter Day or Christmas Day, like this one, and but most of the context is related to the Chinese culture. Yeah, just a few few parts is related to the Western.
Thank you very much for this. So, after middle school, do you have another exam too?
Yeah, of course. After middle school, we need to pass a very competitive high school entrance examination. I think 1 year is at least 500 million. Yeah, because each student want to get a high level qualification. So this is why Chinese students really focus on the education, and some students choose the public school to continue the competitive studies, and some students choose to the international school to go abroad, go to the foreigner universities, and it's two groups. Yeah, and in public schools, I think one class is contains also 50 to 60 or 40 to 50. It depends on the school's arrangements, and they need to study more about the knowledge, such as the subject is seen as a middle school, but they studied more and deeper. Yeah, and for the study time, I think it's from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. 3 years, and maybe the time in the mornings become earlier. I just say a very middle time. Yeah, and because Chinese actually have the holiday, and but in high school students have a few holidays because they need to study at school. They cannot enjoy their holidays. Yeah, such as the Spring Festival, that it's very popular, and Chinese students need to come back home to meet with their parents and enjoy the holiday. But in the third year in public school, they only have 1 day holiday. But actually, the holiday is the duration of the duration. The holiday, it's I think 10 days or 20 days. It's like that.
But
Yeah.
they got only 1 day.
Yeah, just 1 day because they need to. They will have the competitive university entrance. So this is why they only have 1 day.
Okay. So after high school, you have this university entrance. Is that one which is called as GAHA?
At high school, I entered the international schools.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
Like when you finish your high school, you need to go to another exam.
yeah, when we finish at the high school, I don't. It's not finished in high school because the high entrance examination is contacting the high school experience. So like in June or July or no, in May or June, students will have the high school entrance, and when they got the scores, they can graduate from the high school. It's first they need to get the scores, and then they graduated. It's but in international high school, high school in China, it depends. International high school is different from the public high school. It less pressure on students, and students can enjoy more. They can enjoy the East Chinese festival and the Western festival both.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for agreeing to this interview and sharing all these insights. I believe those are really useful for us. Thank you very much.